Hey readers, and welcome to That Guy's a Maniac, the podcast. Yes, we are a podcast about video games. My name is Richie, and with me as always is Farley, aka Kinsey11, who will say, hey readers, explain why we are called DS this season and tell you where to find us on the internets.
Hey readers,
Yeah.
it's a new thing apparently. Welcome to That Guy's a Maniac DS, the podcast, your place to go for news, reviews and previews of video games. This season we are called DS after the Nintendo DS handheld gaming system. Much like the DS, which had two screens, each episode has two halves and we have a break in the middle. One of those halves begins with a D, one of those halves begins with an S. We randomly put some D's and S's in the bag at the beginning of the season. We're going to randomly pick one out now. Richie, here's a big bag of D's.
Alright, I'm gonna grab a big D. No. This veiled thing is not really good. Anyway, okay, I've got definitive.
Definitive. Got a big bag of S's. Scrumple. Try and find a big one. Starters. So this week's episode is definitive starters, but before we go there, Reggie, you can find all of the That Guy's a Maniac content at www.thatguys.co.uk and on all the socials at That Guy's a Maniac. Richie, how do you punctuate that?
Well, that would be all one word, all lowercase.
Yes. So what are we going to do with the randomly selected words definitive starter?
Why don't we, and then it's just me pontificating at the moment.
Just spitballing.
Why don't we ignore it entirely and talk about Palword and then come back to it?
Okay, for those of you who don't know, also, who knows when this goes out? Who knows when you're listening? What is Palword, Richie?
Palword is a game which got a lot of hype in the past month, basically because a lot of people are calling it Pokemon with guns. The game features a lot of characters who bear a large striking resemblance to a lot of other Pokemon characters. The difference is you collect them and you use them to shoot guns or turn into flamethrowers. You also actually physically beat them up as well.
Great. And why are we talking about this?
We are talking about this partially because I think it gained a lot of hype because it was like, oh wow, this is just a clone of the more recent Pokemon games, but on the PC. And of course, the ones on the Switch do suffer a little bit from lower graphics and lower performance, only because of the constraints of the machine. But I think a lot of people have also been waiting for something on the PC, very Pokemon game related, and a lot of people jumped on this one. It also has the survival aspect that you see in a lot of, or craftable. Like, I don't know how you define, but when I say survival to you, I automatically start thinking like survival horror, whereas survival games themselves are just really just sort of, it's like the craftable bits that you used to do in like the Settlers and Command and Conquer and stuff like that, where you gain resources. You go out, you chop some wood, you make an axe, you can then make it a pickaxe, and you can chop rock, and then you can make a rock pickaxe, and things go on from there, that sort of thing, until you're making clothes and cooking 3-course dinners, you know.
Yes. So I think that's what. So Palword came out. It had crazy numbers when it first launched. Seemed to come from nowhere, and people were saying, "Oh, this is a Pokemon killer." And there's a lot of people, despite what sales figures tell you, who have not liked the last recent Pokemon games. And there are some technical issues.
Yeah,
Certainly in Scarlet and Violet, but the others have kind of been okay. And so people, people, very small bunch of people were vocal on, oh, this is a Pokemon killer, and this is gonna, finally they've got some competition. But Palword itself is extremely derivative. So not only did its kind of catchable characters really strongly resemble, almost like running. What were those websites called? Where you could merge Pokemon together. Do you remember those?
Oh yeah. Oh god.
What's it called?
I can't remember off the top of my head,
Yeah.
but no, I know exactly what you're talking about. You get like a Gengar with a Jigglypuff face.
Yeah, and it would say here's Gigglypuff, and it would be a Gengar with a Jigglypuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, they look like that, and it's the bits from some of the most popular Pokemon kind of stitched together to make. Here's our walking rabbit clone. Here's our turtle clone, etc.
Yeah.
So it got a lot of attention there, but across the piece, it's extremely derivative piece of work. So it has the kind of catchable monsters a la Pokemon, and then it looks like Fortnite. It has elements from various other games. Bits of it are like Breath of the Wild. Other bits are like Ark, Survivor, Evolved.
Yeah, yep.
It's kind of like a, skimming the fat off of the top 10% of gaming in the last 10 years, and then be like, okay, let's make a game. Let's make a game out of this.
Yep.
And the discourse was extremely intensive online. Lots of Pokemon fans are coming out saying this looks awful. Lots of apparently Palword fans are saying, no, this is the Pokemon killer. You tried it, and what do you think? You had hands-on with it?
I did have hands-on with it, and the reason I got it was just I wanted to see what the hype was about, to be honest. And of course, I have played the other Pokemon games, and I was curious as to what this was, and I wanted to kind of look at it from, I don't know, just give it a go, really.
Yeah, I mean, also it's interesting because you're kind of a jaded Pokemon player, should we say? You've got to really just fell off the series with the recent games, so
yeah, no, like
potentially the kind of person you might think would
jump on. Yeah. So, just to preface that, like, because Scarlet and Violet, I have played them, I just find it very hard to stay retained to the point where I was just like, oh yeah, I'll get the DLC at some point. I was no longer excited to think, hey, day one DLC, I'm going to play this to death, because I don't know, I feel like I'm not missing out on anything, because I could just go back in, 3 years later, and I just spend 10 minutes and I'll already have a 6-person shiny team with all of the stats that I could want, and it's like I don't feel any desire or pull to come back to it, because I don't know. Anyway, let's move away from Scarlet and Violet, because I will inevitably come back, and I will be excited by the next in the series and the next generation and stuff like that as well. However, with Palworld, I just couldn't believe that people were making a game so blatantly a rip-off of Pokemon, because you don't use Pokeballs, you use Pal Spheres. I was like, this is a parody, man. And a little part of me makes me think it must be a parody. Like, they are doing it a little bit tongue-in-cheek, perhaps, but they haven't come out and actually had the balls to say that, because, like, there's stupid things in it. Like, there's the equivalent Team Rocket, but you can catch those guys in the Pal Spheres as well, so you can catch other humans in the balls, and it's just like, and the whole reason that I thought that was kind of weird or quite different was like, that's the sort of thing you think about, like, why don't they just catch people as well. It is like somebody who, like, you can tell the team have a love affair with Pokemon, which seems to be a big factor within the game. And they've just gone and done like a silly Leisure Suit Larry version of it. Or what's another gaming parody? A game that's openly parodied other games.
Parodius?
Oh. And what happens in Parodius?
Isn't that like a parody of Gradius?
Oh, yes, it was. Yeah. But I suppose
and then isn't that Sega game?
I'm thinking actually more like South Park Stick of Truth, where they actually make fun of and use characters from other games and things like that. But yeah, like, anyway, so I actually played it, and I jumped into it, and it was immediately very, very addictive. Like, there's no sort of tutorial really needed. You just jump straight in, and you are starting to make your base, and you're catching Pokemon. Sorry, pals. And it's very, very quick. It is weird being the character and hitting one with a stick until its health is, low enough to catch it with a sphere, a pal sphere. And that was a bit jarring to start off with. But it's also got very jump-in gameplay, because he's just walking a direction and it's very, very discoverable. New areas, new things, new pals to find. And there was dungeons as well. I ended up making my base next to a dungeon by accident. And I'm like, right, okay, cool. So I can just pop in there. And yeah, it just, as you start leveling up, you get like a crossbow, and it feels weird every time you go into dungeon to see, look, there's a floaty squid thing. Like, what's the turn-uppy down squid guy?
Inkay,
yeah, basically like Inkay floating about, but you shoot it with a crossbow, or you chuck out one of your pals to start attacking it, and it just feels wrong doing that. Also, what you were talking about with derivative, the characters that you create feel very stock. I feel like they have pulled those characters from like a pack that you get from Humble Bundle. Yeah, it's one of the characters in Palword. No, Humble Bundle, and it's like 3D models, and yeah, and I've seen quite a lot of glitches and T-poses and things like that happen. But like I say, it was very, very addictive gameplay straight away. It was like going straight for the sort of mobile game gacha, sort of lots and lots of, hey, you've done this, hey, you've done this, hey, you've done this, now do this, now do that. And you get lots of video, audio cues, and like, hey, very, very, I suppose that's the same with most games, but this was very, very much in that sort of line. But it also feels, and this is where it gets a bit weird, it feels cheap compared to Scarlet and Violet. Which I guess is what it is. And it's PC online, you can jump in with multiplayer, but it's, I don't know, it's not cheap in the same way as I feel like Super Mario RPG was. Like, I much prefer the original with the pixels. This new version feels like a Kinder Egg toy version of it. Whereas Palworld just feels, I don't know, it was a very hard way to explain it. it feels like a knockoff. It feels like you have gone to a street market and bought like some Nike Air Jordans for 20 quid.
Yeah.
You know,
or you bought like a Mavs bar Easter egg that if you don't look at it too hard, it just looks like a Mars bar Easter egg.
Yes, exactly.
Until you taste the chocolate. And you're like, oh, what is? Oh, I've got a Mavs bar Easter egg.
Exactly that sort of thing, where it feels like it wants to be tricking you into playing it because you like Pokemon.
Yeah.
But and I don't like being tricked into things. I don't like to be that sort of side of things. But yeah, no, I pumped about 20 hours into that game. Yeah,
that's way longer than I thought.
Yeah, but it's because it's so instantly playable. You know, it's just like, all right, I can click this button, boom, I'm in, and I am playing. And there's so much to do. Like, there's so much to investigate, and there's so much to do it. But I assume it's very similar with a lot of those survival games, Minecrafts and Arks and stuff like that. Uh-huh. Which makes me think I probably should play those games as well, because I might like them. But
yeah, maybe, I don't know, because my experience with survival games, and this is kind of pinching bits and everything, is that first couple of hours is rough, right? Because you haven't got anything. So I think they seem to not quite screw you over in that same survival way.
Yeah, no, they gloss over it very, very much. So it's like, your base also becomes like your fast travel hub. So as you go around and you find places to open up for fast travel, you can just choose it from your base, and you just go there. There's also, or maybe I chose an easy difficulty setting. There's no penalty for dying. You die, you have to choose where you respawn. You can actually choose the other side of the map to respawn. And I mean, that's fun because, like, hey, you know what, I'm just going to try something else. That being said, it was fun to go and investigate stuff, even if I did have this shit stock character with crap clothes that don't actually change. It did feel weird when you like, oh my god, I'm so excited, here's a new Pal to catch. And then you have to catch it by shooting it or hitting it. That's where it just kind of loses it. It's like I don't have a good analogy for this, but not only is it a cheap knockoff of like Space Raiders to Pickled Onion Monster Munch. It's a cheap knockoff, like it's it's violent, which makes it a little bit more. Oh, this is weird because this is actually actively hitting things with cute faces, and I don't know, like, it doesn't feel right having an AK-47 and shooting Jigglypuff in the face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's not, it's not quite the kind of Mad Cats back in the day, Joypad to another one, or Mega Bloks back in the day, because it does, look pretty. It doesn't.
Yeah, no, I should. Yeah, the map is amazing.
Yeah,
that's one thing that I have loved is discovering new things. It's just I'm not too much of a fan of kicking a Rapidash,
and because it just liberally borrows from the best of gaming. It's not a shoddy game, or it's not trying to confuse grandma. And we had so many of these games back in, trying to confuse grandma just before Christmas, and then I got that game you wanted. It has depth to it. It looks gorgeous. There's a lot which definitely isn't in the Pokemon games, like the online multiplayer, the base building. You've got farming. You can ride a bunch of your pals.
Yep.
So it's got a lot going on for it. But as I said to you, I said it'd be interesting to see anyone's still talking about this game in, I don't know, a month?
Yeah, I mean, it's already sort of dying down.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will have its own Discord community and things like that. But the words that you used, they just completely made me rethink the game and if I was having fun. The words
So I said, because I'd been following it online, and what was really annoying, it seemed, is that unlike other new big games, there was a lot of first of all, there's lots of like comments and takes, and then those, you know, turned into like the worst of gaming journalism articles. Most of the discussion seemed to be about, oh my god, this is a Pokemon killer, and then, you know, a criticism of, you know, recent Pokemon games about this is really good for Pokemon because it will, you know, light a fire up their arse to do better, and then it started doing crazy good numbers. But, you know, we've been here before with, you know, Digimon's various attempts, Dragon Quest Monsters. You know, did anyone play that? No, it's supposed to be really good.
Yokai
Watch,
yeah.
Which was also supposed to be very good, but kind of never really went anywhere and just didn't quite, you know, just like a tracing over Pokemon doesn't quite work because there's a lot more going on there than just simply, you know, you're catching animals. But nobody seemed to be, you know, because Tekken 8 also came out recently. And I've just seen nothing but wall-to-wall videos of people doing horrible combo, you know, people abusing King because of the throws and everything. I just saw none of that with Palword at all. So I was like, you know, are people really playing it? Are they just kind of controversially downloading it to be a bit of a, you know, something else? But yeah, everything about it to me looked like empty calories, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you're having fun, and you know, let's go here and do this, and things are popping off. But you know, will anyone still be playing Palworld in 6 months, or will there ever be like a Palworld 2? It remains to be seen. But yeah, it does strike me as the kind of thing where, you know, everyone had like a stinky kid who lived on their road. Stinky kid, you know, it's the kind of kid where you'd be playing Street Fighter 2 one afternoon, and then, you know, Stinky Kid would be really excited about it, and then next week Stinky Kid would turn up with some hooky, like, you know, some like Mugen type port which had every single you know, because this game which didn't really work, was a bit busted, and was just a cheap, like, lowest common denominator type product, and that's what this struck me as a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, empty calories, I also interpret that in so many different ways as well. Like, as a direct comparison to Pokemon, like, there's so much going on with Pokemon. There's home, there's, you know, decades of investment. Whereas with Palworld, it's just like, what is going to happen to it? Very little. Are they going to continue pouring love and making expansions and make Palworld gold and silver, you know, that sort of stuff? It just doesn't feel like it, and you can see that there is a level of detachment, because with, like what I was saying, with the stock characters, there's no real attachment to them at all. They don't look great. They look very generic. Whereas with the actual pals themselves, maybe there's a bit of, you know, love that can be given there. And of course, immediately, as soon as it was brought out, there was a Pokemon patch, or a Pokemon mod, and there was a Digimon mod. But also, I felt it was empty calories, because the time you invest in this, I also feel Pokemon, like, if they want to sue Palworld, they would definitely win. Like, I know that, like, the creators of Palworld says, oh, we've gone through all the loops, we'll be fine. And like if, you know, Pokemon wanted to go and do that, they definitely would. It's just so blatant. So many of the things they do, the fact that they call it Pal Spheres parody. You know, it's just like, nah, there's no way you would survive Nintendo's lawyers.
I'm watching the rolling kind of trailer on Steam, and it's just like, oh yeah, there's Egyptian themed Lucario. Oh, there's red Corviknight. Oh look, there's
Green Eevee.
Yeah, there's green. There's a horned Wooloo. It's blatant.
Yeah. No, and it's so much of that, and I just feel like it'll get shut down. It won't survive, or it will. And yeah, I mean, like part of the Discord that you were talking about, like I think Nintendo, Game Freak, etc., all of the people who own this could stand to have a little look at it and think, yeah, we could do something on the PC. Or, yeah, we could put some of these features and just rip them straight out of Palworld and put them into our game. And I feel like Game Freak would do it better, and it wouldn't feel, I don't know, like Tato crisps.
There's also something, it looks like, again, when you're a kid and stinky kids around and the annoying kids around and the fat kid around and you're 7 years old and you're playing a game, oh, can you imagine, it's like a discussion about Sonic, oh, can you imagine if Sonic did this, or you can imagine if Lara Croft was in blah 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 blah, and there was somebody there just saying, yes, we'll make that happen, yeah, we'll do that, well, yeah, we'll put that in there, and it's less than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is some cool stuff in there. The fact that you've got like a base, it seems to be a really good idea. I don't know how much depth there is in terms of genetics and breeding, and whether you have any can you smush monsters together and come up with
you can only make certain pals by breeding them. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a little bit of depth there.
Yeah, I don't even know how many there are. I got a pal, which I just sort of ran around with for a long time, which was called Incineram.
Right. Is that its name?
Yes, Incineram.
Okay. Yeah.
So, it's a fire Pokemon that looks a little bit like Zoara.
Uh-huh.
And it has horns.
Okay.
Like a ram.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I called it a fire Pokemon, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah, you did. So seamless.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's hard, but I haven't gone really back to it. I've just kind of, I could continue on, but I don't feel the desire to catch them all. And I feel like a lot of it is going through loops, and I feel at any second now a new patch will arrive where, hey, no, you can only get this if you play it multiplayer. I'm just like, oh, fuck it, not interested. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's enough. I just felt we had to talk about Palworld, given that we have been fans of the Pokemon series for so much longer. If anything, I think it's probably renewed my desire to play Pokemon.
Yeah, interesting. And I do think, because quite a few people are pulling out examples of, well, actually, this Pokemon's based on this, or this Pokemon's based on this, or if you compare, some of the monsters that you'd find in early JRPGs, this very strongly resembles this. And so there is an interesting question there about, when your cast is up to, I think Pokemon's up to 1,025.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for anyone to create anything that doesn't in some way,
Yes.
to create a cartoon creature that doesn't in some way resemble one of the 1,025.
Yes, and
designs,
of course,
not counting their mega evolutions, their Dynamax forms, their alternate forms, their blah 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 blah.
yeah, and we also can't say that every single Pokemon design is great. People still have to count the fact that there is not only one but a 3 evolution Pokemon based on an ice cream.
Yeah.
There, of course, is Trash Bag Pokemon. Which, like, if you were to meet someone on the street and they didn't know much about Pokemon, just what had been, dripped into public consciousness, and then you explain to them, oh yeah, there's a Trash Bag Pokemon.
Yeah. And a Keyring Pokemon. I mean, ironically, so these were all the ones that. So when the 5th generation of games came out, Black and White. Lots of people say, oh, this is Game Freak, they've lost it. Look at all these really derivative designs, and we've got just household objects with faces on. Unfortunately, with both what is the ice cream? Vanillux?
Yeah.
And Trubbish and Klefki, they're really good.
Yeah.
Actually, really, really interesting Pokemon with good, it's not quite as straightforward. And in fact, it's probably, if there were ones up for genuine criticism, it was probably like, your Route 1 rat thing and your Route 1
oh my god,
and,
the Route 1 mammal that's in every single game.
Yeah.
Or the Route 1 normal and flying type bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or your bug and fly, your caterpillar, pupa, butterfly thing.
Yeah.
All these kind of deck splitters. Oh well, let's see if Palword is even sticks around long enough for us to be worth checking in at some point in the future to see how it's going.
Maybe in season 5?
Yeah, maybe in season 5. I can't see what the player count currently is. Can you? Is there a way of you seeing that?
No. I don't know if they release statistics like that for a lot of things.
Well, I think on Steam you can just see it now.
Oh, okay.
Concurrent player base.
Well, this is fun.
Because it did do big numbers for PC. Bless them. But then I wonder how many people are still playing it, or if everyone has a similar story to you. It's like, oh yeah, got my dopamine hit, but there's nothing really to stay around for.
Yeah, and it's also an early access game as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So it could easily just disappear,
Yeah, or being closed beta for, not closed beta, open access for 15 years and then merge, become some kind of weird Fortnite thing. I didn't really understand Fortnite when it was a shooting building game. I really don't understand what it is now.
Yeah, I've no idea. What is
Fortnite Lego, and is that Fortnite? Is it all in Fortnite? Do you load up Fortnite, or is it?
There's the Fortnite festival. I didn't know that Fortnite had Guitar Hero in it, and people are talking about Fortnite being the next platform. So I remember having this rant many, many years ago about World of Warcraft could be a platform, for playing other games and also its own game, because it for a little while it had Peggle in it. I don't know if you remember that, but I was just thinking it could be a lobby for a lot of things, and I think a lot of games have tried to do this, but Fortnite seems to have stuck in some fashion.
Well, I don't know if you saw the recent big Disney announcement.
Yeah.
Which is Disney cross Marvel cross Fortnite cross something else. Pixar.
Yeah.
Fortnite Lego is already going, so it's well on its way there.
Yeah, so there's a very good chance that we'll be able to watch the next Disney Pixar film in a Fortnite world next to all your mates doing little dances that they bought and play along Guitar Hero with the score.
It all sounds like a
awful.
bit too much like Ready Player One world.
Yeah, except it's harmless. Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't mean like the story of Ready Player One. Just that, when you see the properties they license to create. We've got these digital things. So just in an incidental scene in the background, you'd see whatever character they keep. Do they go with Warner Brothers or something? Oh, okay. Again, a bit empty calories. The idea of these crossovers sometimes is better than.
But I feel like we're generationally bound to not understand what Fortnite is, and if you do, then you're that weird, creepy guy who plays Fortnite and you're 40.
Yeah, and part of it was beautiful, but I think shitification is catching up on it. So there's certain licensed skins that you can no longer play, or you can no longer get, or certain game modes you can't play. It's like, great.
It feels a little bit like the Bored Ape Yacht Club thing.
Yeah. And it's just going to be microtransactioned into awfulness, even though right now it's probably the best it's ever going to be in terms of being open and experimental and interesting.
Anyway, I'd like to end on one of the top comments on Steam about Palworld, which is war crimes, slavery, endless breeding farms, human traffic, and animal cruelty. Would recommend.
Nice.
Anyway, let's stop talking about Palworld. I think we've given it enough press, and I think that's exactly why it is a big hit, because there's no such thing as bad press, and all we're doing is contributing to the system.
Yeah. So if both of the readers out there would like to give Palword a try. Is it free?
No, it's 20 quid. I paid money. I know. I paid money.
So that's what surprised me most about PC gamers, because they are tight as fuck. So okay, probably is one of the best-selling PC games, because can't give that shit away these days.
Yeah. Right.
Great.
So we finished talking about Palworld. I think we need to take a breather, or perhaps have a break.
Yes, I'm not going to sing Eurythmics this time, because I think it's getting annoying that we sing Eurythmics then say
It's funny because each time I edit it, I keep on thinking, I'll put the Eurythmics one in, and then I forget. Not that we ever used the Eurythmics in any fashion.
No. Anyway, it's break time, everybody.
Break time.
Break time.
Welcome to break time, everybody. It's the middle of the podcast. In the middle of the podcast, we refresh our palettes, and we each ask each other one card, 2 questions from the ultimate video game trivia card quiz. This was a thing you could buy when physical stores still existed. Good luck with that. Richie, I've got a card with 2 questions.
I've got a card with 2 questions, and I'll be honest with you. I've had a sneak peek at them, and they're pretty brutal.
Yes, I think you'll get one, but probably not one.
I think you might get one, and you definitely won't get the other.
Great. Hit me.
Okay, so this is the one you definitely won't get.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, I don't know. You might surprise me. Okay. What is the name of the baby owl in... Do you know it?
No, I can't think of any baby owls.
Okay. Yeah. In Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
God, no. Barely aware that game exists. It's supposed to be quite good.
I've never said those words together.
I might need a bit of a hint.
If you were in Scotland and you saw a cow, what would you call it?
Wee elephant.
You just say it slightly different.
Hairy boy.
No.
Look yon yak. Do you call them yaks?
No.
Koi.
Almost. That's Irish. That's Irish though.
Koi noi. Brian koi.
What about Scottish?
Koi? Koi?
If you if you were to
Coo?
there you go, brilliant, nailed it first
Coo.
time. Coo.
Do they call them coos? up there?
Yes, so I often refer to a cow as a coo as well.
Do you?
Yeah, it's actually, believe it or not, it's one of these derivatives from Nordic countries as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so up there they've ooified it and we've owified it.
Yeah. Yeah, coo is the name.
Nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it in
First
one.
time.
But yeah, that's a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think everybody's played that game. This is your hard one. Where is the open world racing game Forza Horizon 4 set?
Oh, that one's set in Monaco.
Nope.
It's set in Milan.
Think far less exotic.
Slough.
Slightly bigger region which incorporates Slough.
Oh, Sussex.
Bigger.
Surrey.
Bigger.
South of England.
Bigger.
UK.
Another version of that sort of includes a few more bits.
Europe.
Smaller.
Oh, okay. Shit. Bigger than the UK, but incorporates Slough. But it's smaller than Europe.
Yeah, exactly that.
Great Britain?
Yeah!
Okay. See, the UK and Great Britain are interchangeable in my head.
I know. I mean, there are some people which they I think it'd be fine if there were just two. But there's not two, is there? There's more. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
There's also British. Whatever.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Cool. Let's move on.
Apparently, the high-octane racing game Forza Horizon 4 is set in Great Britain. I wonder if you can drive to Slough
Yes.
in a Lamborghini or something.
Yeah. I don't know why Slough came to mind as well. I hate.
It
It is what?
open world, so perhaps you can drive from John O'Groats to Land's End.
Oh God! Right. So I have to buy Forza Horizon now.
Yes.
Okay. Forza Horizon.
Already have it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm that sort of shite bag, am I?
Yeah.
Is it on?
Wait, no, wait. Was Forza an Xbox exclusive?
No, Forza Horizon 4 is on PC.
Okay.
Okay.
Join us next week to hear how long it took Richie to drive in game from John O'Groats to Land's End. Have you been to John O'Groats?
I have not. I have been to Land's End though.
Me too.
Yeah. Forza Horizon 4 Lego Speed Champions. This is weird. Why is
Lego? I went into a physical game store the other day, and I had a look at and Lego have like 20 times more games than I knew. One of them's like Lego Beats or something. It's about gang warfare or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Is it good? Lego Rivals, Lego Fights, Lego something like a cutesy word for fights.
Oh, okay. Lego slaps.
Lego Shanks.
Yeah. I saw a really cool thing, which was Lego Wednesday, and they included Thing, which is just basically the hand part from a Lego minifig.
That's brilliant.
That is brilliant, isn't it?
That's brilliant. Yeah, they've got their fingers arguably in too many pies now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be a total reskin of Forza 4, but you could play in Lego cars.
Doesn't sound quite good. Can you build your own car?
Probably not. I'm guessing you'll have just... No, I doubt it. Maybe. I don't know.
Is it DLC? Is it a whole game? This game is cool. I have many Lego cars in this game in real life. They perfectly put the pieces like how they are on the real Lego set.
Do you know there's a Forza 5 as well?
I mean,
What's the point in getting Forza 4 anymore?
yeah, I lost track with those.
I don't think I've ever played any Forza, ever. I was like a Gran Turismo boy, and I played it a few times. In fact, I played it to get all... this is really, really off track. Oh, and I didn't even mean to make a pun about racing tracks.
Hey! You can't go off track in Gran Turismo. I won't allow it.
No.
Yeah, I'm not very good at those games.
Ugh, I know, and you spend ages, like, I did all of the
licenses.
Yeah. And I enjoyed it, and then I got really invested in a car, and then started reading guides, and just like, oh no, you just buy the Nissan one, everything else is shite. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got really... So when the first Gran Turismo came out, my brother is very, very good at driving racing games. So he kind of aced all his licenses. And I accidentally deleted his...
Accidentally. The big brother excuse, I'm sure.
I was winding him up, and we were talking about who had completed the most games. And I was being a massive twat and saying, well, if you don't have it on a memory card, it doesn't count. So we were looking at the memory cards, and then I highlighted Gran Turismo. I can still see it today because Gran Turismo took up like 5 slots.
It did. I had a memory card just for it.
Yeah,
just for it. Yeah,
it was so data hungry. And so I selected it and then selected delete and then was swinging the joypad. Oh, would it be awful if it hit my leg? Would it be awful if it hit my leg? And then it hit my leg and deleted his save game. And I couldn't even get the third license, a good grade on the third license, which is basically go around the corner. And he'd done it all. 4-4.
That is brutal, man.
Yeah. Awful, brother.
Yeah. So he emigrated to get away from you.
Yes, and then that's the last time I saw him because I deleted his save file. Wouldn't it be really bad? Oh, wouldn't it be really bad? That's so many hours into it.
Right, okay, cool. Oh, man. I've laughed so much my glasses have steamed up. Right, okay. I have... Is me to ask you a question?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
So, how's your Grim Fandango knowledge? I feel like I've asked this question.
I know it exists, and I occasionally mention it. I have not played it, though, of course.
Okay, so, in Grim Fandango...
Yes.
For which organisation does Manny Calavera work as a travel agent?
Death. Satan. Hell.
Death. Work on it. Yeah, but imagine you were in an office.
Death Incorporated.
Not quite.
Death
like you have a sales place. You have an HR place.
Death Office.
You could
Death
say
Department.
Department of Death. Well done. Nailed it in one.
Yes. First time. I think you'll get this one. Made by Sinclair Research as the successor to the ZX81, which 8-bit home computer system was widely used to develop games in the UK.
ZX Spectrum?
ZX Spectrum, yes. A very Brexit card I have there for you.
Yeah, Great Britain and the ZX Spectrum.
There we go.
Right. Wow, 20-minute break time. That's what it took to get over Palword. Okay.
It's cleansed, get the taste out of my mouth.
Okay, so what we actually wanted to do, and is the name of our podcast today.
I forgot to mention.
Oh, okay.
The reason why I have the gimmick DNS is because many Nintendo DS games had a subtitle that began with the DNS. For example, Bubble Bubble Double Shot.
Double shot. Bubble bubble double. Bubble bubble double shot.
Bubble bubble double shot.
Bubble bubble double shot.
Bubble double shot. There you go. Continue.
Okay. So the reason for this episode, which we randomly pulled a D and an S out of the bag, big D's, and it's called Definitive Starters.
Yes.
We're going to run through the starters of each generation, the starters being the original 3 Pokemon you can choose in each generation, usually fire, grass, and water. Well, I say usually, it is every single time fire, grass, and water. And I do hate that, but they should mix it up. And we're going to compare them generation by generation, and we're going to choose our favourite 3 Pokemon as starters. 1 fire, 1 water, 1 grass.
Yes.
And decide who's the best of the best.
The definitive starting trio.
Definitive starting trio, yeah.
This is topical and important because in the latest game, they made a big deal about in the DLC, you can finally catch all the starters in the wild, which hasn't really been a thing before. There were a couple of ways you could get 1 or 2, but this one says, here's all 27 of them, go nuts. I think it's all 27 of them. And so that's our premise. So our starting set, if you like, is the classic, and they appear on merchandise, they appear in board games, they appear in luxury brand collaborations because the other 1024 Pokemon don't exist. It's Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. Richie, quick thoughts on the classic trio?
I mean, I feel like they are overplayed. One thing I would say about the classic trio is, in most merchandise, it never is a pack of 3. It's usually a pack of 4.
Yes.
And Pikachu gets lumped in with that pack of 3.
Yeah.
We're going to ditch him.
If they expand it, it's normally Eevee, Gengar, Gyarados, sometimes Jigglypuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
recently
Jigglypuff before Gengar, actually.
I don't know. Gengar's getting a lot of love recently.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So we have Bulbasaur, number 1 in the Pokedex.
Yeah.
And we have to consider a few things. We have to consider he has 3-stage evolution.
He does.
He changes type as well.
No, he doesn't.
Doesn't he?
Isn't it grass poison all the way?
I think he starts off as grass. I can't believe we've stopped. Oh, we've started right. Is it right?
Are you sure? Are you sure this is going to be enough for a whole episode? Or I don't know. Maybe we'll just do a.
I'll have it off.
We have very much to talk about. Question number 1: what type is Bulbasaur?
And we're stumped on it. Right? What does Cerebi say? Well, let's get Cerebi up. We need it. It does not say it's grass and poison right from the start. That's weird.
Hang on, check Gen 1.
I mean, yeah, it's grass and poison right from the start in Gen 1.
Wow.
I mean, you said it. You knew better than me. So, but I doubted myself an awful lot.
You doubted me?
I did.
Doubted everyone.
Yeah. I'm a Debbie doubter.
Yeah.
Or Thomas. Thomas the doubter, isn't it?
Doubting Thomas.
Doubting Thomas. Right. So he isn't grass. He's grass and poison from the start.
Is it the only dual type? Fucks.
We've done so much research for this.
Is the only dual type starter? No. Rowlet is grass and flying. But yeah, it's the only 2. Ooh.
They're both grass.
The more you know.
Yeah, there you go. Well, at least we've established this, and we can move on from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? My respect for Bulbasaur has gone up astronomically.
Yeah, I think he's winning, staying in so far.
Yeah, definitely for round 1.
And plus, we love a poison type.
We do love a poison type. I like from the first 3 starters. Okay, Squirtle and Charmander are a little bit similar to start off with, and they're all kind of like based on amphibian and reptile type things. But I think they settled on some good ones. One turns into a big froggy flowery jungle thingy.
Yeah.
One's a flying dragon and the other one's like a shooting tortoise.
Yeah. That being said, so if we're going to talk about the evolutions,
Yeah.
I don't really like Venusaur as an evolution. I think his Mega Evolution is quite cool, where he turns into a big island. Is that Mega?
Mega turns into just a bigger tree, and then Gigantamax, he just turns into like a huge Rafflesia.
Yeah. A Rafflesia? But we already have a Rafflesia Pokemon.
We do. Couple.
Oh, that's mental.
I know.
Okay. Should we talk about the shiny being rubbish for Bulbasaur? No.
I have no time. No time.
No time. Okay. Right, let's move on to the next one. Which would
Alright,
be...
so those are the starting slots. So Generation 2, we have Chikorita, who's like a penis flower, I guess.
Penis flower. Yeah, not really sure what it's based on. Its shiny is good. It's like an autumn version of itself.
That's quite good.
Yeah. And then it turns into a Diplodocus.
Yeah, kind of, but it has antennae as well, which is a bit weird. It looks like it's basically a lily, right? It's like a dinosaur lily.
Yeah, with a ruff.
Yeah, with like a lily ruff. Or like a hibiscus.
Yeah.
Then the fire starter, Cyndaquil, a little fire mouse.
Yeah.
Quillarv and Typhlosion. I don't really know what they were going for with Cyndaquil.
I'm not a huge fan of Typhlosion because I don't really like his Hisuian form is much cooler.
I agree. I didn't like it, and then I really like Typhlosion. I really like Hisuian Typhlosion because it's kind of styled on all the Hisuian Pokemon are brilliant because you've got the Ronin, you've got the Samurai, and then you've kind of got the Warrior Monk.
Yeah,
it's like brilliant, Japanese samurai film. So yeah, I much prefer Hisuian Typhlosion. Also, Typhlosion was so lazy. It has the same stat spread as Charizard.
Ugh. I mean, and it gains no typing; it just stays fire. At least Charizard, you get fire and flying.
Yeah.
And then of course with these megas, Charizard has got the X and Y version and dragon typing. Yeah, Charizard wins this hands down for versus type.
Cyndaquil is not being swapped in, so yeah, we've still got Charmander. What do we think about Chikorita versus Bulbasaur?
Bulbasaur. We love
do you
Bulbasaur.
know why?
Because he's dual poison type.
It's got two types.
Yeah.
Only two starters. And then the water starter in Johto is Totodile. Totodile, Croconaw, Relegator. Starts off as a cute crocodile and then just gets bigger and chompier.
No. Yeah, it's a big, stumpy humanoid alligator versus a big, stumpy humanoid tortoise with water cannons on its back.
It's so weird because Blastoise is cool, but then there's not really any other Pokemon that just gets guns.
Yeah, that's so appropriate for this episode. You know what? I'm going to swap out Blastoise because it's eventually going to happen. I think we should swap out Blastoise for Alligator.
What?
Yeah,
you have to give some grounds.
Design. I much prefer the design of Feraligatr than I do of Blastoise. Blastoise, don't get me wrong, and I know why you want to keep him in this because he's iconic, but I don't think that's enough weight in this game. And yeah, Blastoise is just a weaker one of the lot, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think of the Kanto starters, definitely.
I don't know, I don't think Feraligatr necessarily deserves to be better, but I just know we're going to swap out Blastoise, and I feel like we should do something. Otherwise, we're just going to keep the iconic three all the time.
Oh yeah, that's true. I was just looking to see if there's anything interesting about Feraligatr, and it just really isn't.
Really?
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah, like middling stuff. Yeah.
Screw it. We're sticking with the original three.
Hey!
Right, let's move on to Hoenn.
Hoenn. Can you name the Hoenn starters, Richie?
Yes, because Terry is right up in front of me.
Okay.
We have Trico.
Yeah, which is kind of like a gecko type thing, which evolves into a bigger gecko type thing.
Yep, bigger gecko type thing. We have Torchic, which is a chicken that learns kung fu.
Yeah.
And then we have Mudkip.
Which is like another salamander.
Yeah.
It just turns into a bigger salamander.
Right.
I have no love for Trico at all. It's just...
Yeah, let's gloss over it. I don't even want to spend time on it. It is weird. I don't like its tail sort of... No, it's not worth it. Move on.
Okay. Bulbasaur's still number one. Now, famously, they started making all of the fire starters fire and fighting.
Yeah.
Which introduces some pretty bad weaknesses to the type. And this is where it all started with Torchic.
And this is where I fell out of love.
This is where Richie famously fell out of love with fire starters. Twisted fire starters. I don't get Torchic, right? Because I like Torchic. It's cool. It's a chicken. It's a cute chicken. I mean, maybe like from fighting chickens, I guess. But
yeah, well, chickens use their back claws to fight. And what's really creepy about Torchic's evolution is it has claw raptor feet for its first two evolutions. And then its final evolution, where it's more humanoid, it gets its claw raptor feet on its hands.
yeah.
Which just makes me think of like when you see chickens fighting, they do that whole... it must be based on cockfights, which is not nice.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand the jump between Torchic and Combusken.
Yeah.
Cute, because normally they start off cute, but then it's like cute almost looks like he's got one-legged type chicken thing to a chicken man to
Chicken
then
man, yeah.
a edgelord chicken kicking man
But with feet on his hands.
with feet on his hands. So our lineup is looking like Bulbasaur, Charizard still, Mudkip.
Right. So I need to. I want to put in a good word for Mudkip. I love Mudkip, and
Everyone loves Mudkip.
And I love. Well, actually, I love Swampert.
Swampert is brilliant.
One of my favorites. He has a cool mega as well.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the fact that his shiny is pink.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would say I'm happier with Mudkip or Swampert than I am Blastoise.
And I think Swampert, I mean, not many of the starters have ever been particularly viable competitively, but I think Swampert's one of the ones which...
In Gen 3 and I think 4 and 5, he was just brilliant. He was just a wall. He learned Curse.
Yeah.
And he was just really, really good. I enjoyed playing with Swampert at that time.
So we've got our first new swap. It's agreed. It's unanimous.
Yeah.
So our lineup is Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Mudkip from Generation 3.
Brilliant. Fantastic. So now we're off to Sinnoh.
Yes.
And we have Turtwig to start off with.
Turtwig to me is like a bad Venusaur. So whereas Venusaur is like a bulby like jungle tree, Turtwig's just an oak tree.
It's it's an oak tree. It's what Blastoise would have looked at if he was grass type, Yeah,
but it's also they keep adding them. It's one of many Pokemon which harkens back to the myths of all of creation being carried on turtles.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not feeling it with Turtwig.
No, I wouldn't even consider it at all. I would argue if you did. But in its defense, grass and ground.
Yeah, I mean, as long as there's no ice kicking around, you're going to be alright.
Yeah.
It's quite a solid combo, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
But is it grass poison?
No, it's not grass poison. It's not good. We have another fire fighty type. We have a monkey. And, yeah.
Chimchar, Monferno, Infernape. I've never really, felt Chimchar, Infernape.
No.
And you'd think it'd be fast, but I don't think it is very fast.
Yeah. I really don't have much to say about Infernape.
No.
In general, I kind of think it's the firefighting type. It's like you don't want. I find it hard to get behind humanoid Pokemon as well.
Yeah.
Well, not all of them, but it's too much like wanting to be like Goku or what is that? Do you remember the monkey TV show?
Yeah, the thing based on, what is it, Journey to the West or whatever it is.
Yeah. But that it just doesn't float my boat.
No, me neither. Okay, sorry, Infernape, you're not getting anywhere. And then lastly, we've got Piplup. Piplup is great, but I like it less as it evolves into Prinplup and Empoleon.
Yeah, it gets steel typing, which is fun in a starter, absolutely.
It is, because also, well, what is Empoleon weak to, Richie?
Empoleon would be weak to...
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's water, so maybe... Oh, no. Still resists all of it.
Okay,
fighting. Yes. There's two more.
Is this a fun game? Grass...
No.
Electric
is 2 times effective. And then one more, which it gets when it's steel typing rather than it's water typing.
Oh, so fighting ground.
Ground, yes, there we go.
So that's weird. I feel like water should resist ground because it's super effective against ground. It's one of those ones. That's not how it works.
Which is why I always struggle when I'm against Empoleon. Oh yeah, this will work. Oh,
it's not very effective. I do not like Empoleon's design. The only redeeming factor for it for me is that it has steel and it does not beat a Swampert ever.
No, I agree.
So
Piplup, if we were just focusing on the starters, Piplup is kind of cute, but we're still on Venusaur, Charmander,
and Swampert. Yes, yeah, you might get. Cool.
Okay, Unova, Generation 5. Do we even bother talking about Snivy?
Snivy, I mean, everybody knows this one. It's a snooty looking little leaf thing that loses its arms and becomes a snake. Very weird concept.
It is weird, and I don't. What does it do? What is Superior's deal?
All I look at it is, and I think grass snake, and like, oh yeah, grass snake is a thing, and then that's it. I feel like that is the extent of its design, but maybe I don't know. It's like vines, maybe.
I'm looking at the stats. It's really fast. Weirdly, it's really fast. 113 base speed.
Okay.
75 attack, 75 HP, 75 special attack, 95 defense and special defense. It's weird, because you look at it, you think, oh, that'd be kind of like bulky, right? And then stupid grass trick, grainy type.
I don't know. Fast like a snake.
Fast like a snake?
Yeah.
It's fast?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not being Venusaur, is it?
Yeah,
right.
We've talked about this enough. Right, next up we have
fucking
Tepig. Yet another fire fighting type, where it is a big humanoid pig thing.
He goes from a pig to a big pig to a really big pig.
In fact, you know what? Him and the monkey dude, Infernape, they look very Japanese or Chinese style fighty. They could be buddies.
They do, and that's why I thought when Legends Arceus came out, I thought Embor was going to be like, the
Yeah.
fat drunken monk type character from Japanese, Chinese, but no, they went with a much cooler Typhlosion.
Yeah.
instead.
But does it beat a Charizard?
No.
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 I mean, Tepig's quite nice. Like Teapot Pig, quite cool. I would definitely choose it as a starter. But yeah, I do not like its final evolution of this big pig face man, like the guy in Star Wars. You know, the Rancor pit guy.
Yeah. Like the pig face guy from everything. Like the pig face guy from Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know who? Torterra and Tepig could be buddies as well. Tepig and Turtwig.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Tepig.
And they start off on 4 legs as well, and then eventually become standing on 2 legs. Yeah. And then we move on to Oshawott.
Oshawott. I love Oshawott. I hate Duot and Samurott.
I have no love for Samurott, and again, it's another.
I don't know if you've ever seen it in the anime, but like he has swords in his arms that he pulls out.
Yeah. But does he stand and use them?
Kind of on 3 legs.
I don't like that.
No, I don't like that. I like the idea of, Oshawott, his thing is like an otter, has a scale chop.
Yeah.
Evolves, and then it dual wields, perfect. And then samurai dog thing?
Yeah, it's like he wants to go down the One Piece path of Zoro with the 3 swords, but it couldn't work out how to do it.
I know. So said it's on 4 legs and carrying its sword.
Yeah.
Sorry, Samurai. This is embarrassing. So it's Bulbasaur, Charmander, Mudkip. Then we go to Kalos, X and Y, loosely based on Europe, France in particular.
Yeah.
And so we get 2 starters based on like European folklore and animals, and then 1 ninja thing. So Chespin, based on a hedgehog, evolves into Qualadin, and then Chestnut, like a giant, tanky, big armory, spiky man.
Yeah.
Probably the worst grass start.
Yeah, easily the worst grass starter. And is it the first grass and fighting type?
Oh God, I didn't think it. I thought it was really bad before. I don't think I knew it was grass and fighting.
I remember it's got a special. Oh God, what is it? It's like
spiky shield.
I think. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I think it's
special move.
Yeah, special move that it learns by teaching. It's something like a cannon. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm not gonna. Anyway, it's
something like a cannon. What? Something like a cannon.
Something like a cannon.
Something like a cannon. What are you talking about?
Oh, let it be. I can't remember off the top of my head. There's something about it shooting stuff, and I can't remember if it's like the. Like it's not seed bomb, because that's something everything gets.
It does. I think it was the first, and for a while the only one to have spiky shield.
Spiky shield. Okay.
Which is like protect, but if you do a physical attack, you also take damage.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Again, let's not dwell on something I'm half remembering.
Right.
But yeah, better than Bulbasaur. Not a chance.
No.
Okay.
Then we got Fennekin, who turns into a sexy fox. Not sexy.
No.
Little bits. Breakson is a little bit of a cheeky.
Yeah, I mean, was it Delphox? I don't know. I think it's sexy if you like Harry Potter. You know.
Yeah, it turns into Fire Witch, Twiggy Fire Witch.
Fox.
It's a bit strange. Yeah, Twiggy Fire Witch Fox.
It's and again it becomes humanoid.
It becomes humanoid and gains the psychic typing.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because Fennekin's a great starter, but I don't really like where the line goes.
No. And it doesn't beat a Charizard.
No. Then we got Froakie.
So we have the Ninja Frog Tongue Scarf.
Bubble Scarf, Tongue Scarf, Ninja Frog.
Yeah.
Greninja. Extremely popular Pokemon, but do we follow the sheep, the mindset?
Do I think that Froakie and its lineage is better than Mudkip and Swampert?
Yeah.
I mean, Greninja does bring in dark typing, which is sorely missing.
And I do like with this trilogy that there's a bit of consistency in that when they each get to their second evolution stage, they each get the second type, and it's the other trilogy. So it's fighting Psychic Dark.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I was sort of hinting at. Like, we do need another trilogy. We want something different. Fighting Psychic Dark. Yeah. Anyway, is it better than Swampert? I like it, but I think I prefer Swampert.
It's a very cool Pokemon. I think it might be too cool.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
And its shiny is black.
Yeah.
It's very edgelordy as well.
Nah. And then it also gets the stupid Battle Bond Ash Greninja form.
Yeah.
Which is stuck in X and Y.
Right. I'm done with Greninja.
Okay, so for those of you keeping score at home, it's Venusaur, it's Bulbasaur, Charmander, and fucking Mudkip. Running out of generations.
Right.
Alola! We have Rowlet, the grass-flying, cutesy owl type thing who evolves into a Robin Hood Archerman.
And gains the ghost typing.
And loses flying and gains ghost. I don't think I'd really appreciated that. In my mind, Decidueye was grass, ghost, and flying. Litten is just a cat. Torracat is just a cat with a bell, but Incineroar's a fucking wrestling cat.
The wrestling cat that everybody just does intimidate over and over and over with.
Intimidate, fake out, Dark Lariat, whatever the switch out move is.
Right, so
then
now... Yeah, then we've got... Yeah, sorry, go on.
Poplio, which is a sea lion which turns into like a singing mermaid diva.
Yeah.
Called Primarina.
Yeah.
I mean, just off the bat, Primarina's not in the mix.
Primarina is not as cool as Greninja, and it's already... not happening. Primarina's not happening, so we're still on Swampert. Going back to Incineroar versus Charizard.
Yeah.
Again,
the toughest fight Charizard's had so far.
Oh, wow. It's fire and dark type. I would have said fire and fighting 100 times.
No, it's fire and dark. That's why all its moves are good. I just don't like this whole four-legged animal turning into a humanoid furry. You know, Incineroar's out. Wow. And then Decidueye?
I like Decidueye.
I like Decidueye. It gets some points from me because I think Hisuian Decidueye as the kind of Ronin type is cool.
But it becomes fighting type.
Yeah. Much like Chestnut. Exactly the same as Chestnut, in fact. Is it a Bulbasaur beta though? I mean, Rowlet's cute.
I'd be tempted to switch it in.
Yeah. Just because I'd feel really bad if the Bulbasaur got all the way through.
Yeah, I think let's switch in Rowlet.
Okay. So it's Rowlet, Charizard, Mudkip.
But I do genuinely think it's a coolish Pokemon, and it's got that special bow and arrow move. You know, like the cannonball one.
It has. And in Pokken Tournament, Decidueye is incredibly tricky to use, but very cool. Like all its moves are about kind of backing off and shooting at the same time, hovering in the air and shooting. It's a very cool Pokemon.
Cool. Okay,
so I don't feel too bad if I'm surprised that it's taken Decidueye, but I don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, well, it's designs, isn't it? And who knows what's going to happen next?
Oh no!
And Galar.
We're in Galar, mate.
Galar.
Sit in the UK. And we have the Phil Collins Pokemon drumming
yeah.
gorilla, the David Beckham Pokemon, which is like a football playing rabbit, and the James Bond Pokemon, which is like a sniper spy
Yeah.
lizard thing.
So we have Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble.
And Sobble.
Yeah, the crying spy. Yeah.
The spy who cried me?
The Crying Game? No, that's a
Cry
different,
Who
that was a
Spied
different
Me?
film.
What do you think of Grookey? Little tappy tap, get some drumsticks, and then just fully drums.
So, like, he's based on Tycho, isn't he?
He's based on Phil Collins in that
The Dairy Milk advert. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Huge in Japan.
Huge in Japan, huge. It is not a Decidueye beater.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's nothing going on with these types either, listeners, readers. It's just pure grass, pure fire, pure water.
Wow, that's an interesting factlet as well.
Yeah, I think they just decided let's go back to basics for this, even though back to basics, as we just learned, was less basic than this.
Yeah. So
more basic, less basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On to Scorbunny. Scorbunny is great. I love Scorbunny in Pokemon Snap, actually, just because he's kicking about and having a laugh.
Yeah.
But I hate that he looks like an anime teenager in its final form. I can't remember its name. Cinderace. Yeah, it's like wearing shorts. And it's this humanoid furry Pokemon, which is still unsettling for me.
And then its middle evolution is that like kind of emo kid, right, which has its sweater pulled up over his, kind of like wearing a hoodie. He looks like a Naruto character.
Yeah, he does. He looks like something on Naruto. Rabuto. Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, no, and it's not a Charizard killer either.
No.
And Sobble, I don't mind the lizard, and it's quite Pink Panther-y style, but nah.
Agree. Sorry, Galar.
Okay, let's move on to our final spot.
Our final spot. Unless you wanted to look at Hisuian
starters.
Yeah.
Remind me?
We've got Rowlet, turns into Decidueye, fighting. We've got Typhlosion, who turns into Fire
of course. Yeah.
And then we've got Oshawott that turns into like another kind of samurai. It's very
Yeah. No, pass.
Final round. Can any of these shift our current contenders?
Which are
Bulbasaur.
No, it's not. It's Rowlet.
Rowlet, Charmander, and Mudkip still.
Yes. So we have the counter to Litten, which is Sprigato, which is
Sprigatito.
Sprigatitos. Sprigatito, who basically turns into Eyes Wide Shut character.
A magician? Is that floating flower thing?
Really?
Yeah. So these
Is
are
that
like,
what it's based on?
Yes, you've got like a magician, a dancer, and a singer. Right, they're the performing arts.
Oh yeah. See, when I look at it, I think like Eyes Wide Shut or Venetian Film Festival more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does have that bizarre floating flower bob.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Trivia. It appears to be based on a feline and a magician.
Okay.
Flower. Oh yeah, its signature move is called Flower Trick.
Flower Trick. Okay. Okay.
The mask is a reminiscent of the cap worn by jesters.
Yeah, it feels. Anyway, yeah. Where was Paldea meant to be set?
Very loosely Spain, but the Pokédex specifically mentions that some of these Pokemon resemble things from far away. So it's like the Spanish-speaking world. So you've got like lots of Mardi Gras type things.
But Sprigatito sounds very Italian, which is why I'm thinking Venusian.
Sprigatito. Based on.
And Masquerade. Meowscarade, a Masquerade, of course. Yeah. Buh. Right, anyway. Better than Rowlet?
Better than Rowlet.
And Decidueye?
It is dark as well, grass and dark.
I think I like it more than Decidueye.
Yeah, I don't really know how we got to this spot. I wouldn't have said Masquerade was the best grass start, but
I think we're about to. Is Masquerade better than Bulbasaur?
Is Sprigatito better than Bulbasaur or Rowlet?
I like Sprigatito more than I like Meowscarade.
It's really cute.
Oh my god, it's better than the owl. So we're getting Sprigatito in?
Alright. Sprigatito, I guess. Definitive starter for the grass types.
Yeah, okay.
Then we've got Fuecoco, which is like a crocodile, like a fire counterpart to Totodile.
Yes, so this was, it looks like Bubble Bobble.
Looks like Bubble Bobble, and then it gets a fire sombrero, which is actually a nest, and then that hatches into a fire bird thing.
Yeah. Which takes over its skull.
And then it sings.
And it becomes a ghost. So its head becomes hollow and
becomes like a Day of the Dead singing. No, not like Day of the Dead.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, like Mardi Gras, maybe?
Yeah.
It's that James Bond film where somebody looks like that.
Oh, Baron Samedi.
Yeah, it reminds me of Baron Samedi.
That's quite good.
God, the origin thing is like three paragraphs on Bulbapedia.
Okay, can you gist it now, or do we have to wait for next week?
It's gonna forehead, it's gonna hatch. It was Baron Samedi.
Okay, Baron Samedi, perfect.
Is it a Charizard
cool.
beta? It is cool.
And it's ghost type. It was a very Richie pick. When I picked a fire type, I was very happy with it as a fire type.
Fuecoco's pretty cool.
Yeah, but Charizard's better.
Is it? I mean, this is it. This or Charizard. It's our last chance.
Charizard, definitely.
Yeah, it's not Skeleton. Annoying. And then lastly, we've got Quaxley, which is like a duck with a quiff, and then it evolves into a person duck to the quiff, and then it turns into probably the best Pokemon.
Yeah.
Of Gen 10.
I felt really hard done by when I found out that I had chosen the fire type when there was this really cool dancing Pokemon. Although it's water and fighting, I don't care enough about it. It is very cool. I love the animations for it, which is tough because if you compare it to Gen 1, there were no animations.
Yes.
You know.
But in Scarlet and Violet, you can get Quackquavel out of its pal sphere, and then it follows you around doing a very mince walk.
Yeah. But that's cool. That's cool.
And then spends the whole battle doing an amazing kind of. Is it Mardi Gras dance? What name was it called?
Macarena. It's Spanish. It does the Macarena.
It's not the Macarena. No.
It totally does the Macarena.
What are you on about the Macarena? Like the Carnival type dance. And then even all its moves are it's like glowing feathers coming out of its body and flying around everywhere.
Okay.
Is that better than Swampert?
It's in the runnings. It's better than. Do you know what would have been more fun is if we scored each one of them. I'd have loved to have straight up had like the Eurovision. You'd have animation versus style versus final
signature
evolutions.
Yeah.
Let's revisit this in season 5 and do it again. But it is not better than Swampert.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I also don't want two of the most recent starters on our definitive list. So that's recentism.
But if you were to choose between the Sprigatito and this one,
Sprigatito,
I would probably choose this one over Sprigatito.
Yeah. I mean, grass. It has been tough for grass. I think water's had the best selection overall.
I mean, fire has has had a very, very thin, tough selection.
Okay, I agree. So our definitive starters. Here we go. Finishing the episode, everybody. Thank God. Definitive grass starter is Sprigatito. Our definitive fire starter, Richie, is
Charmander.
And our definitive water starter, this is no takebacks. This is it. All of the polls and rankings and listicles are wrong compared to this, the most objective assessment there's ever been. Mudkip. How do we feel about our final selections? Sprigatito, Charmander, Mudkip.
I don't hate them.
No, I don't.
I feel a little bit weird.
Things. Yeah.
I feel a little bit weird about Sprigatito, but you know what? I'd be willing to commit. I
could learn to love it.
Yeah, more so than Bulbasaur, even though we find out about poison type.
It's really cool that it starts off with two types. There's only two starter Pokemon which have two types to start with.
But that being said, it was hard. We had to move away from the iconic, and as iconic as they are, we still have Charizard in there, and Charizard, well deserved, gets lots and lots of love and attention. Gets Gigantamaxes, Gigas, and whatever. It's got everything going, and it gets its Dragon typing, which everybody wanted, and its Mega Evolution as well.
And for a brief while, it had some viability on the competitive scene in one of the seasons in the last generation.
I mean, has Charizard not always been quite a powerhouse?
It's always been quite bad, I think. But then for a while, with Gigantamax, it had a good innings.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. That's it. It's definitive starters.
Right, we're done. Good.
Thanks for listening, readers.
Oh, God. How do we sign this one off? That guy's a dual type Pokemon.
Grass and poison.